So the agenda for today's call is we're going to have some announcements from Billy, specifically revolving around advisory councils. We're going to have a National Service Day of Recognition recap. We're going to have some PA about VADs and continuations. I have a couple of announcements about PSOs and VMOs. We're going to update you about summer associates, and we're going to give you some National Service Hotline and SAM.gov updates. So to start off, I'm going to turn things over to our fearless leader, Billy Lewis.
Thank you, Alexia. Thank you. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Wonderful. Okay. So just a few things I want to share with you all, some things coming down the pipeline on the horizon. Some of you in the affected areas of the state may have already received this email, but I wanted to make sure our entire VISTA cohort was aware that we will be having a National Service Recovery meeting that's taking place April 26th and April 27th. That will be right here in Orlando, Florida at the downtown DoubleTree. And the goal of this meeting is really to bring together long-term recovery groups, committees, member organizations, emergency management officials, and of course our existing national service programs. So those VISTA projects that are in affected areas, and when I say affected, I know everyone tends to think about Hurricane Irma, but, and thinking about the impact that Hurricane Maria has had on Florida, I'm also speaking to those projects as well. If you have the opportunity and the resources to attend this meeting, I think it would be well worthwhile, not just for networking with our long-term and resettlement partners, but also other area VISTA supervisors and senior core projects as well. So that is, again, April 26th through the 27th. I believe it begins on 1 p.m. on April 26th and ends at about 4:30 p.m. on April 27th. I will be sending that as part of the notes for this call, but the registration link has just popped up in the chat box. So if that's something you're interested in, if you're in an affected area and you have the time and resources, we'd love to have you register and register early. So the next thing I want to let you all know, and this is pretty exciting for all of us, CNCS is now accepting applications for program officer positions in various states, including our own Florida. So this will be an opportunity to shore up our office and be at full capacity in terms of program officers. So we're hoping to get some high quality candidates. That being said, I do also want to share that we are recruiting for California, Arizona, Kentucky, Montana, New York, Rhode Island, Utah, and West Virginia. Now, being VISTA supervisors and having members that are getting ready to term out, this is a wonderful opportunity for those members to use that non-competitive eligibility and apply for the position. We definitely want to see a lot of our national service alumni as well as our national service former sponsors and grantees apply for the position as well. So that link has also been wonderfully posted in the chat box. Please spread the word, spread it widely. We want to make sure that we have a robust number of applicants in the pipeline for these particular positions. The closing date, I believe, on that is April 20th. So appreciate your assistance and support in helping us get another staff person for our office and shoring up the offices across the state. Another announcement, I just want to say, we can't say this enough. You all are doing amazing things out there. I know your members are doing amazing work. Kudos to you for letting us know when you can let us know. But again, it's very critical and important for you all to tell us your story. Let us know about the impact that your project is happening. One of our roles here in the state office is to champion the work that you're doing, not just the work of the members, but you all as organizations. You are really how we get things done. And so if we don't know about the exciting things that are happening and the things that are on the horizon, we can't share that message. We can't highlight your program. We can't spotlight your program. It also helps justify additional funding increases for our portfolio. So say, for instance, I know some of you, just by way, we've heard, have some indirect and direct relationship with opioid programming and human trafficking. Those are the types of things we definitely want to know. Those are the types of things that put you in the running for additional funds in the form of supervision and support grants. So as things happen, as partnerships happen, as your members engage in new opportunities and opportunities that relate to our priorities, please let us know. While the progress report is a mechanism to check in on you all, there is no embargo on getting information as it happens. So on a monthly basis, you will start seeing a request for information. But again, as it happens, as you know things are happening or on the horizon, different events, let us know. We sometimes get requests from headquarters to have some of our executive management come down and do site visits. For example, our Senior Corps Director, Debbie Cox-Roush, will be here this Friday in Southwest Florida. So as we know things that are happening, we can definitely funnel that up the pipeline and get your project highlighted and spotlighted. So remember to tell your story, tell it loud and proud, and tell it often. Next slide, Lexia. Okay, so on our last call, I believe in February, we had a conversation about advisory councils, what they are, what the purpose is, how beneficial they are, and the fact that it is a requirement. I know a lot has happened since then, and everybody's probably been doing a lot of thinking, hopefully, about their advisory councils, whether or not you have them, how you've been using them, how effective they've been, and that's good that you all have been doing that thinking, because now it's time to get some action behind that particular topic. And as we stated on the call, advisory councils are not a nicety, they are a requirement. Both in the Code of Federal Regulations as well as the Domestic Volunteer Service Act, which is the legislation that governs the AmeriCorps VISTA program. Specifically here, I have pulled the language for you so you can see each potential project sponsor shall establish an advisory group for the project to include substantial membership of potential project beneficiaries, or to the extent feasible, their democratically chosen representatives prior to the submission of an application to CNCS volunteers. So I know many of you have advisory councils that are works in progress. I know some of you are embarking on this. Some of you have advisory councils that have been long-standing and high-functioning. But what we are asking is that by September 30th, that 100% of our AmeriCorps VISTA portfolio is compliant with this particular regulation. So we're giving you several months, actually, trying to make sure and thinking about your work schedules, your workloads, and the fact that you have positions outside of this particular one. So we wanted to give you all ample time to make sure you got this done, as well as give ample time to get some resources out to you as you get this done. Now, one of the first questions we usually get is, about the makeup and design. We do not govern the makeup and design as far as how many members, how many meetings, what should be discussed. That is for you. Remember, this advisory council is there to support and inform your project. So as far as how many members, how often they meet, those are things that you all will develop. The only thing that we really prescribe to is making sure that the community being served, the project beneficiaries, are represented, whether they're represented by individuals from those particular pools or individuals who represent those particular pools. So that is on the horizon for you all. By September 30th, we will be checking in and asking for updates on your advisory council development. And so those are all the updates I have. If anybody has any questions before I turn it back over to Alexia, I am open. All right. Thanks for playing. Back to you, Alexia.
Okay. So, National Service Day of Recognition was a success. We are still tabulating who had the most elected officials, and we've decided to have dual runners. We're going to have whichever city and or county had the most elected officials will be getting a care package from the state office. So as soon as we finish our calculations, because some people registered as a city, some people registered as a county, we want to make sure that we'll know. As soon as we know, we'll let you know. I really want to talk to you guys today about VADs. We know that VADs are incredibly important to your VISTAs because it outlines exactly what it is they are going to do for that year. However, we have been noticing a trend. VADs have not been updated from year to year. The goal of a VAD is to outline what a VISTA is doing in that particular service year. So the only way we should see repeated VADs is if they did not accomplish those things in that VAD. You also want to make sure that everything that the VISTA is doing is aimed toward their primary goal. And does anybody want to tell me what the primary goal of a VISTA is? Job description. Eliminate poverty. Say that again?
To help
eliminate poverty. Awesome. Who said that first? Okay, fine. I won't send you a bag. The primary objective of VISTAs is to eliminate poverty. So if we're looking at your VAD and we cannot see how it is that they are contributing to your organization to help eliminate poverty, we're going to start sending those VADs back. Also, you need to really think about your subsites. Is it necessary for them to have a VISTA? Because sometimes a VISTA can come for 1 or 2 years and accomplish everything that they needed to do. So we want to make sure this is not just a permanent free worker situation. Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay, when you submit your continuations, it's also imperative that you update all of your VADs. So your VAD should not be the same if you are continuing because this is a brand new year. Are there any questions about VADs whatsoever? If you have questions or you're not sure how to make sure that your VADs are always in compliance, please contact your program officer. We are here to help. And now I want to move on to continuations. We have also noticed with our continuations that a lot of people are not changing their narratives. If you have new people coming into your organization or the chain of command has changed in any way, you should be updating your narratives. Your narrative should be updated anyway to tell us what you did the last year and how you're planning to grow, how you're planning to build on what you've already built. And I really, really want to stress to all of you, don't wait till the last minute to do your continuations. There might be issues or problems. We might have to send them back. And it doesn't look good if we keep giving you continuations because we can't get your continuation on time. So eGrants automatically generates a letter when your VADs are due, but we also tell you in advance, not VADs, I'm sorry, when your continuations are due. So work with your program officer in advance. Try to get those continuations in as soon as possible after you get notification so we have ample time to really make sure that your application is not perfect but as close to perfect as we can get it. Also, I want to stress to you that your narratives also should evolve as your program evolves. It's not possible for you to be the same place that you were 5 years ago. So make sure that you're going through your narratives and updating them. And we're going to, now that we have more program officers to spend more time on it, we're going to really start looking at those narratives very closely. And we're going to couple that with your work plans to make sure that your performance measures match what you say in your narratives. Also, I really, really want to stress to you guys, I have visited many of you. A lot of you are doing some things that you could be getting credit for. You don't have a performance measure for everything that you're doing. So I want you to think about everything that your VISTAs are doing within your communities and try to capture it all, because if we don't know, we can't assist you. We can't possibly give you a support grant. We can't champion your program to DC. So we want you to make sure that you're looking and updating and really putting some effort into your continuations. Are there any questions? Okay. So for summer associates, all listings should be posted and should include the term of your summer program. So if you haven't gotten your listings or your VADs in, I really need you guys to do that right away. If anyone hasn't done their amendments, we really need you to do that right away. I'm going to give you a deadline of next Friday because summer associates starts next month, and we have to make sure we're ready. We also want to stress that each person that you bring on as a summer associate, please make sure that they accept the terms and conditions of service by completing the course and signing the terms of conditions before the start of service. And I will send you the PowerPoint so you'll have the link. It is critical that they do this. And I know we had some problems in the past because sometimes a VISTA will go in there and try to do it and they don't know where to find it, because it is not in the same place as their other paperwork. That's why I've linked you to the terms and conditions so you can make sure that they are doing it. Are there any questions about that? Are you sure? Okay. So moving on, for the PSO and VMO, I want to thank you guys for being as patient as possible while we are working out the process inside the office. And I do want to apologize to all of you who've had issues in the past where people aren't placed on time, or they're placed in the wrong PSO or the wrong VMO, you weren't getting notifications. We really hope that you guys are all getting notified in time to recruit and have your placements. We want to stress to you, please, 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 fill out your PSO enrollment forms, the entire form. We need to know where the VISTA is going. We need to know who the site supervisor is. And we also need to know which PSO or VMO they'll be in. We need to know whether they're relocating or not. All these things are critical when we're signing people up for a VMO or PSO. We also want to stress recruit early. VISTA campus is really, really, really clamping down on late submissions, so we can't really do that anymore, especially with the VMO. There are no late submissions whatsoever. And we want to stress that when we send you requests for projections, we're not trying to irritate you. We're not trying to bother you, we promise. We just really need those counts to see how many people we have going, and we need to make sure that all our vacant slots are being filled. Please remember, vacant slots are a performance issue. So you can have somebody vacant for like 3 or 4 months, but there's no way you can meet your performance measures if you do that. Consistent open slots may result in a reduction of slots. So for your next continuation, if we find that you've had 5 open slots for at least 6 months, we will have to conclude that you don't need as many VISTAs. So it is really important that you guys are recruiting for open slots, because we are looking, and not only is your performance measures affected by it, but so are ours. So let's help each other out. Are there any questions about PSO and VMO? No? Okay. Users can now call the National Service Hotline and use a web form or live chat. So I know a lot of you guys who call can't get through, so you might want to opt for the live chat so you can get help right away. Initial contact to the hotline should only be made via phone, web phone, or live chat. I know we do get calls about e-grants, and if there's a glitch in e-grants, we certainly sympathize because we get them too, but a lot of times there's nothing we can do about it. So please make sure that you take use of the hotline whenever something kicks back, or you can't change something in your grant, or you can't submit your continuation, or you can't submit an amendment. And let us know when you do. Just say, hey, I'm having a problem with this. I'm contacted the National Service Hotline. I'll keep you updated. That way we know if there's an issue, especially if you have something pressing coming up, like a progress report or a continuation, or you have an amendment that has to get through. Please let us know that you're having issues, but also contact the National Service Hotline update. National Service Hotline. The fax number has been changed. It's actually being transitioned out. Please don't use the old fax number. It's probably best not to use fax anyway. It's probably best to call or use the live chat or the web forum. Beginning April 27, 2018, all organizations must be registered in SAM.gov. You also will be required to submit an original signed notarized letter designating the entity administrator at time of renewal. There's questions about that sentence. Nobody? Everybody's good with that? Okay. The SAM.gov system is now sending 30 and 60-day notices for renewals, in your case continuations, advising the new requirements. If you need any assistance, please call the Federal Service Desk, which is different from the National Service Hotline. And like I said, I will be sending out this presentation so that you'll have these numbers and websites. Now is the time for question and answers. Does anybody have any questions, even if we haven't covered it in this call? So everybody's good. Everybody's happy? Maybe, maybe not. That's really all we have for you today. Thank you so much for those of you who joined the call, and please contact us if you have any questions, issues, and or concerns.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.